What's up guys, how's it going? It's Game No More 1 here, and we have been waiting an entire year since the announcement of next gen with the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. And with 2020 being, 2020, we finally got our hands on these new consoles to at least get us some enjoyment out of this entire stupid year. But as you can see from the thumbnail, I managed to get my hands on a PlayStation 5. So this entire video is just going to be me just doing a basic overview of the console, just going in depth, letting you guys know the pros and the cons of the system, and just pretty much all the bells and whistles of what you can do. So let's hop into it. So going over the console itself, straight out the box, you're going to notice that this console's big. She is huge. It's a big boy. But pretty much you open it up, you get your basic starting stuff, you get your two guides, your safety warning, the USB Type-C, which is going to be the new standard for using the controller and powering and everything, power cord. You get the vertical stand, which allows you to either stand it upright, or on its side. Me, I had to opt in to stand it on the side because of the big form, because it would not fit anywhere else in my room except just doing that way. Upon initial boot up and configuring of your settings, you'll be taken to the PlayStation 5's user interface, which is now named the user experience, or the UX for short. Pretty much it's just taking the PS4's user interface and just streamlining it down to a much more easy, coherent system. Pretty much all your games, your media, pretty much is all going to be in one location, pretty much, and just easy just to switch between. The store no longer has a separate app, it's part of the user experience, so you can just go to the PlayStation Store icon, goes into a drop down menu, and you just have whatever games you want to get, codes you want to redeem. Same thing, PlayStation Plus also works the same way, same for Netflix, Hulu, all that's pretty much good. A good plus with the user experience that I like, and this is just a little privacy thing, is that I like that your name doesn't show up in like the little upper right corner no more. You actually have to go on your icon and actually see your name now, so that's kind of good. You don't want people eavesdropping, seeing who you are, unless you made a fake name ahead of time, so that's a very good plus. All in all, I am impressed with the PS5's user experience. It is pretty fast and reliable. It boots up any of the apps in the games with pretty much little to no downtime thanks to the SSDs that are installed within it. I've been playing games like Resident Evil 3 and like Destiny 2 just to test the backwards compatibility, just to test the load times of those games, and they load pretty quickly. Been playing Beyond Light, pretty much going around Europa like on my Sparrow, just going from area to area, even on the moon. I ran to any of the basic load screens if you go too fast on the Sparrow, so it's pretty damn fast. And also the exclusives are no joke either. They load hella fucking quickly. Now, before I get into the actual games, I actually do want to go over the controller real fast, and I have to give it up to Sony. The DualSense is by far the best controller that these guys have put out across all the iterations of the PlayStation. This thing is pretty big. It has a nice size to it. It's pretty roomy. If you got big hands, small hands, it's going to fit right in there perfectly. It's not. I really felt no discomfort in the added grooves that they added, or the extra textures on the back around the handles of the controller and around the actual thumbsticks give you some actual like traction and some comfortability, and it just stays right in your grip. It doesn't like get loose or anything like that. Now the controller all in all works pretty much similar to the PlayStation 4 controller, just with a few added adjustments. The light bar is now actually on the front of the controller, that way you can actually see like what you're doing or how the light is without like looking at the back of it anymore. You have now a microphone mute setting and actually a speaker on it now, so you can actually talk through when you're playing your game. You don't need to hook up a headset, but I will go in on the microphone in a later portion of the video. But the two major parts of the controller that will be the main driving point behind it will be the haptics feedback, which is pretty much there's actual like additional vibrating rotors in different sections of the controller that activate at different points. So let's say you're playing like an action RPG and you're just running, you'll actually feel the vibration just adjust and alternate between the left and right sides of the controller as if you're actually there doing the running. And then you have the adaptive triggers, which pretty much just gives you a little bit of tension and resistance. So if you're slashing something, you're going to feel the controller tense up as you're doing multiple slashes, as your character's getting tired, or as you're trying to run. You'll also feel that. And you can also go into the menu to actually adjust it. If it's too strong, you can make it a little weaker, or if you really don't care about immersion at all, you can just turn it right off. It's pretty straightforward and simple. And now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of the PS5, and that is the games. So the 5 has 5 exclusives that came with it. Those would be Godfall, Demon Souls, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Sackboy Adventure, and Bugsnax, which is actually a free game on PlayStation Plus if you have it. I've played through 4 of these main titles. I didn't have enough cash to get Sackboy, but I've heard good things about it. But the 4 I have played, I've really enjoyed. The graphics on all of them are phenomenal, and the gameplay for each one is pretty darn good and has something to offer. So it doesn't matter who you are, of the age demographic or just the genre play, there's going to be something for someone with the console and the main exclusives. Now for quick general impressions, Demon Souls is a remake of the classic PS3 version. Still tough as nails, still what you remember out of the Soul series. It's still knuckle biting hard, but sweet as hell once you get the victory on whatever challenge is thrown your way. Godfall is a very in-depth looter slasher from Gearbox that has a lot of depth in the combat and good co-op with tons of customization that you're actually going to enjoy. Spider-Man Miles Morales is pretty much Spider-Man just with you using Miles and just a whole new part of New York City. You play Spider-Man, you played Miles Morales. It's still a good time. I recommend it. And then finally you have Bugsnax, which is a very fun, very charming, whimsical children's game that anyone, kid or adult, can actually play and enjoy. Yes, I like Bugsnax. Unironically, the game's good. I don't care. Oh, and one more thing before I go. I also forgot to mention that actually within the PlayStation 5 settings, you can actually go in and adjust the actual game settings before you even launch the game. Like, since you can go in, you can adjust the difficulty or just like the actual wire x-axis of aiming for like first-person shooters or third-person for the camera, and it's actually pretty cool just to configure the settings from the go. So if you want to just have the game on the easiest of its settings, you can do that. You want to just go balls to the wall hard, I know some content creators like that, or just keep it on the default, you can actually do that. Now earlier you may have noticed that I said backwards compatibility, and yes, PlayStation 5 does have backwards compatibility, but it is only for the PS4. It does not support anything PS3 and downward, though Sony said they were working on that, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong, but moving on. So, if you have the PS4, pretty much all the library of the old games will work, with the exception of like 10% I've checked, and only like a few games like Resident Evil 2, Doom 2016, and a few just won't work on the 5 console at the moment. Sony is working on getting the rest of the library going, but pretty much if you have it, a PS4 game digital, you just re-download it to the system, it'll download, you're good to go. And also, if you got it on disc, just put the disc in, same deal, it'll just go and you're just good to go and you can just play the games. And also, there's even a lot more games via the PlayStation Plus collection, which is a giant bundle of 18 of PlayStation's like heavy hitters. So if you skipped the PS4 generation altogether, or this is your first time stepping into the PlayStation family of consoles with the 5 being your starter, you will have a definite good bang for your buck having PlayStation Plus and downloading those 18 games and just having a go at it. Now, with all the good stuff I said about the PlayStation 5, now we're going to come into the negatives, and these are just a few nitpicks to some very serious ones, but we'll just go at it. So, for one, like I said, the backwards compatibility, there is no 3 or downward backwards compatibility for the PlayStation 5, unfortunately. If you want to play PS3 and downward, you're going to need to have those respective consoles, or you're just going to have to adopt PlayStation Now, which is another issue that I may address in another video, because that thing is kind of a big stinker. Another major issue is that the built-in speaker for the controller is not a very good quality speaker. It's pretty buns, to be pretty honest, and most games, multiplayer anyway, will actually come with the speaker actually enabled. So unless you constantly remember to always hit the mute button, you'll accidentally be speaking through the microphone and everyone's gonna hear you, and next thing you know, you're gonna get laughed at. So, and unfortunately, there's no setting as of yet to actually mute it from the jump, unfortunately. Now, another flaw, and this is a very glaring one, and that would be the storage space for this console. So, out the box, you get a 825 gigabyte SSD, but after the OS configuration, you download a few games, you're gonna have around 600, and then even lesser depending on how many games you actually throw on the thing. That's not even including if you even import all of your data from the PS4 onto the current console. So space is definitely a big issue, and right now we are unable to upgrade the storage by getting another SSD of your choosing. So I implore you to wait for Sony, because they said they will do an update to enable the expandable storage. So hold off on buying any of the drives till Sony comes through with that update, and wait for them to make that official. And final flaw with the PlayStation 5, unfortunately, Sony has made this mistake again. The PlayStation 5 does not support a dual audio when you're trying to record. So unless you plug your headphones into your computer, or you have some form of a audio splitter or a mix amp, you won't be able to get audio coming into your headphones and via the capture card by plugging in the controller. You won't do it, and it kind of sucks for content creators like us that only rely on the capture cards and have to use the stupid audio splitters. Sony, fix that, please. Make a patch. Thank you. That's all I ask. Now, given all that information, pretty much going to come to the final verdict. Should you get the PlayStation 5? And my answer, quite honestly, is fuck yes, you should get it. Yes, grab it if you're able to, because I know we're kind of like in a big weird shortage right now. The consoles, they're just hard to get, and scalpers are selling them things for $2,000 and above. Please do not buy for that much. Just hold out. To try to see if you can track one down. Grab one Black Friday. If not, hopefully you guys can get some when they restock during the New Year's. Hopefully by that time they make the update to expand the storage. Some of the bugs are actually ironed out, and like no rest mode craziness goes down. So that's my verdict on the PlayStation 5. Hopefully you guys found the review informative. Hopefully you found the enjoyment of it. Forgive me stumbling over my words and whatnot. I'm kind of nervous. This is like the first first review I've actually done, or in-depth, this is supposed to be in impressions, that I've done without a script, and as it shows. You guys know. Alright, let me stop my damn rambling. I will catch you guys later. Until then, take care of yourselves.